Hey, you want to hear something interesting and trippy? A lot of aliens have no free will, and it's actually a good thing. So let me explain. In my hypnosis practice, I've hypnotized over 2,000 people, and I would say about a quarter of them, when they go back to past lives, they go back to an alien past life. And believe me, the my clients are far more shocked about that than I am. I've seen it hundreds of times, literally. But my clients, when I take them through the past life regression process, one part of it is that you look at your body that you're in that life. And a lot of people are kind of shocked because they see weird skin. They see weird numbers of fingers and toes and all of that. And they're like, this can't be right. And I say, yeah, don't worry. This is normal. Just keep going. Just tell me what you see. And it actually makes me believe in what they're telling me a lot more when they don't believe it themselves. Anyway, back to the free will element of this whole story. So, one time I was hypnotizing somebody, and they went to a past life on another planet and kind of described their day and like going to work, going home. A lot of it was pretty normal, except kind of like when they went home, getting in the building was kind of hard to understand because there wasn't really a front door, and somehow they went kind of directly into their apartment. Yeah, it was weird, and it was hard for my client to even explain what was going on. But as we went through it, and they described their job and everything they did, it sounded kind of boring to me because there was like no conflict, there was no kind of wishing for anything better. But then as I went deeper into it, because to me it sounded like they were just doing factory work or something like that. But when I asked about it more, it turned out that they were extremely skilled at this job and extremely proud of the job they were doing. And they really had a feeling of purpose and alignment that, to the degree that it almost sounds robotic to us, because we're always kind of resisting a little bit of what we're doing. We're always kind of complaining, even if we love something, right? Even people that are rich or famous or beautiful or whatever people commonly aspire to, they have complaints about it. If you're beautiful, people hit on you a lot. People that you really don't want hitting on you. If you're rich, people want to borrow money or they want to talk you into some kind of investment, right? If you're famous, they want a selfie, they want an autograph, right? So, all the greatest things on earth that people aspire to are also things that people kind of, they have a mixed relationship with these things. So, in our human mind, that's kind of interesting. But for the aliens, it's just kind of like I go to work and I do the perfect job that I am best suited to. It sounds robotic. It sounds, like the Matrix. But as you get into it and you realize their level, think of it as somebody who is a classically trained musician. There's a certain seriousness to most of those people, but they love what they do and they do it really well, and it's awesome. So we might look from the outside of like, well, that looks like a drag, studying music, practicing your instrument. hours and hours a day and the discipline and whatnot. But when you're aligned, it feels great. Have you ever been in the zone? You could have been in the zone telling a story. You could have been in the zone playing a sport or playing a musical instrument. When you're in the zone, and I've made videos about this a long, long time ago, there is no free will. There is no free will when you're in the zone. But everybody wants to be in the zone. Well, that's what aliens are. They are in the zone. And being in the zone is really an amazing place to be, apparently. Well, we've all experienced it. We know a little bit about what it is to be in the zone. But for aliens, uh, not all of them, but many that I have interviewed in past life regressions, they are totally in the zone. They are doing what they're supposed to be doing. It doesn't mean they're totally thrilled every minute, but there's a certain quiet satisfaction. There's an alignment. One time I was working with this client, and in the past life regression, we kind of go through a scene, and then I'll say, okay, good, now fast forward, go to the next most significant day of that life. And their subconscious mind will automatically take them to a pivotal moment of that life. And so generally we see two, three, four, five scenes from a life, and then we go through the death process and the person leaving the body and what happens after that. So I have this client who is he goes back to a past life where he is an alien in a spaceship, and it's pretty boring. He's just kind of going through space, and I'm like, well, how long have you been traveling? And he's like, a long time. Like really long. Okay, cool. I kind of ask, what's it like? What's the vibe? Whatever. He's all alone in this spacecraft going through the universe. So I'm like, okay, enough of that. Let's go to the next most significant day. We get to the next day. I'm like, okay, is this long, or, you know, how long is it from the last day that we just saw? Oh, long, long time. And I'm like, well, what's happening now? I'm sitting in the same spaceship, and I'm just going through the universe, right? And I'm like, well, that doesn't sound very. I mean, like, what do you do? What do how do you occupy your time? And it's like, there's not much, whatever. It's not like, oh, I have 1,000 books to read and, I'm just reading books or whatever. I don't think this alien required any food or anything like that. And then I go forward to another day, and it's the same thing. And so then I speak to the higher self of the client, also the alien, and I ask, like, what the hell was that? He's just flying through space like forever. And I ask the higher self, like, well, how long was that trip? And it's like really long, like forever, like eons, right? That alien obviously didn't have a human lifespan. It was much longer than a human life. Like, I don't even know. And then I said, well, why would somebody do that? And then the explanation was, well, for those aliens, there is no free will. And I said, well, why is there no free will? And he said, well, if there was free will, nobody would do this. Nobody would take this trip. But it had to be done. And so it was done. Now, the thing is, that alien was not suffering. that alien was completely just, well, this is what it is. Um, so from our perspective, the whole free will thing, I mean, we really value our free will. We make a big deal out of our free will. But like I said, there's this thing called being in the zone that is a real goal for musicians, actors, um, I mean, writers, comedians, athletes. Everybody wants to be in the zone. But if you look at being in the zone, you will realize that there absolutely is no free will when you're in the zone. There is just somehow you kind of automatically do the right thing, right? Somehow you automatically reach up and catch the football. Um, you automatically play the notes beautifully without really thinking about it. Just like it's like your fingers are just doing the work automatically somehow. And those moments when people are in the zone are treasured moments for most people. They can tell you, you could probably think, if you've ever had that experience of being in the zone, I mean, it could be just you went to a party and every conversation was awesome and everything was friendly and amazing and you know, you never had that much fun and there was no crap at all. That could be being in the zone. But when you look back at it, if you really think about it, it wasn't really a choice. It was just automatic kind of because you were in the zone. So when you see these aliens without free will, on the one hand, it seems really soulless and robotic. It seems like a horrible life, to be honest. But then when you think of it in terms of being in the zone, it's kind of amazing. So, anyway, some alien stories, some alien concepts from my 2000 plus past life regressions that I've done since I started studying with Dolores Cannon in 2010. We're coming up on my 16th anniversary of being a QHHT past life regression hypnotherapist, so that's exciting. Anyway, just thought I'd share. Thank you very much. Bye bye.